Hello everyone, welcome back to day 2 of 30 days of AWS Cloud's journey. And I am Chayan. We are going to talk about AWS most powerful service, that is EC2. So in this video, we are going to talk about like why we need EC2. We are going to talk about virtual machines and understand how just cloud change everything. Okay, so be with me. With the end of the video, you will get a throw about the EC2 instances. Before moving to the EC2, now that's important things we have to learn about the virtual machines. Okay, so what are VMs? We generally say VMs, we generally say virtual machines. So let's first understand what is a generally virtual machines is. Virtual machines are nothing but computer inside a computer. Okay, what generally happens into the we have lots of hotels into this particular part. Okay, in the hotels we have small dividing into the virtual servers. Suppose you are using your laptops. Okay, in the laptop you generally put your Windows, you generally put your Ubuntu, you generally put your Red Hat Linux. So all these particular things are you put into a one hardware only. So a VM is just like a computer inside a computer. Using software, you can split one big machine into a small independent systems. Okay, each one having its operating system, each one having its storage, each one having its memory, but all run into one hardware only. All are going to run one hardware only. Okay, so suppose I'm just again taking this example. Suppose this is a one hotel big room. Okay, in this hotel big room, you have just created multiple virtual servers. So while creating the servers, no one is don't know, like suppose this is me, this is other person, this is other person. So I don't know what this person is doing, I don't know what this person is doing, I don't know what this person is doing. So in this we have the isolated part. We have this is isolated, this is secure, and this is generally a personal part, so no one can exchange the things between them. So this is what the virtual machines do for us. Now the comes about it, why virtual servers, why we need cloud, why we need virtual servers, all this particular part. The question arises is why cloud, why virtual server? So let's say you are launching an app and you want to run code, like you want to handle traffic, you want to store your user data. So you have two choices: buy physical servers, like which generally cost of lakhs, you need maintenance, you need spaces, you are going in the market and you will just purchasing laptops. Okay, this is laptop 1, this is laptop 2, and this laptop suppose have cost of 50,000, then 50,000 you have to create your situations, like you don't have a big budget. Okay, so not going on this particular thing, suppose you have a budget of only 20K, you don't have a budget of for purchasing all those laptops, you don't have a maintenance cost, you have don't have a lot of space cost. So all these things are being done by the AWS part. So you can just simply rent a virtual server on the AWS cloud, initially available, and this generally work on a model like we generally say pay use go. Okay, this generally this generally work on per use go, or we can say pay use go. Means how much you are going to use, you have to pay on that particular amount only. So there is no about like it's generally globally accessible. Like suppose what generally happens, you have just written a code, so you just try to run onto your local machines only. No other person you want to be publicly accessible, so no other person can be access this particular code because it's only to the local only. But you want somewhere to the port, like you don't have must cost, you don't you have only a budget of or 3,000 rupees. So you are just going to whole things onto the AWS cloud, and AWS cloud do each and everything for you. Okay, so we are going to discuss about all the services, what those things do. But now we are putting everything, each and everything on our EC2 instances, but we are just getting virtual servers for us. Don't need to any purchase more things like on the more cost part. Okay, so if I talk about a simple example, so a startup today can go live within a minute. Like you just need to launch a EC2 instance, you can have to just deploy the app, you have to just scale the demands. And compare this 15 August ago, you have to buy the hardware, you have to wait for the delivery, you have to configure the routers, then you have to maintain the cost, you have where you live, you have to go give each and every call. But if you're using the cloud, it's in the within minutes you can deploy each and everything. It's like a pay user go model. How much you are going to use, you have to pay on this particular part. Suppose you are want to use for the 2 hours only, so you are going to pay for the 2 hours only. Okay, Now, clear with this particular things, I guess, what are the virtual servers, why we need the virtual servers. Now, let's come back to the our point, that is Amazon EC2. Why we need the Amazon EC2? Okay, now let's quickly talk the EC2. What are EC2? What is EC2? So EC2 generally stands for Elastic Cloud Compute Cloud. EC2 has this platform, Elastic Compute Cloud. Guys, just ignore my handwriting. I'm not much good, but I'm just trying to buy best for this handwriting part. Okay, so just avoid this. Just go with my flow. Okay, so generally EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, where it generally works on on-demand virtual instances. What I say, just focus on my mark my words, on-demand virtual machines. On demand virtual machines, like whenever you want, suppose you want right now, I just want one virtual machine right now, so it will give you right now only. You don't need to go somewhere, you have to go somewhere, buy nothing there. Yeah, there's no lot of time you have to suppose you are just booking, there's no, they will give you on demand. Like suppose I just need 5 virtual servers, so they will be providing the 5 virtual servers right now. So in this particular so by selecting the virtual server, suppose what generally happens, you go to a laptop, okay, you go to a shop where you have to choose. Suppose I am taking a laptop, okay, so you generally check about the how much RAM you need. Okay, suppose you need 8 GB RAM, you need 12 GB RAM, you need 16 GB RAM. It depends on you what kind of RAM you need, 12, 16. Okay, how much RAM you see. Then you also check with the CPU's part. Okay, how many CPUs you nowadays we have a storage part. Okay, we also check with the storage how much storage you need, to 512 or 256 GB. Like how much storage you generally need. So we generally choose many more things, like we need CPU, RAM, storage, all these particular things come to the topic. Now we have comes into the graphics cards also. Before, if you go back later on 10 years ago, we don't have some conditions of the graphics cards also. Graphics card, okay, graphics card. So all are these things are coming into the market after a certain time. Okay, so now what next? Okay, so each and everything this all this is being given by the virtual server, that is easy to instance. You can choose your own OS. You want Linux, you want Windows, you want Ubuntu, you want XYZ. So this facility is given. You can select your own RAM, you can select your own CPUs, how much RAM you want, how much CPUs you want, which version you want to install, how much storage you want, how much security you want, how much in which VPCs you want. If you have missed the VPCs lecture, I have just taught yesterday only. You can just go back there and you can just check out that particular VPCs part. Okay, so it's generally highly customizable, fast to launch, and like integrates with the hundreds of AWS services also. Now we have seen what is EC2 instances. Now let's check why we need EC2 instances. The question is why we need EC2 instances. We have talked about virtual servers, but now why? So Elastic means scalable, like you can just scale up, scale down automatically or manual part. Okay, if I talk about a real scenario example, you run a shopping websites on normal legs, like you just run on the one servers. Okay, like suppose you have only one laptops. Okay, now suddenly you are purchasing something on the website. So on Sunday, there is suddenly traffic comes up. Suppose your website can hold only the 100 customers, only like 100 customers only comes up. Or if the 101 comes up, it's gonna be automatically down. Like if you go to the best results check. So generally what's happened automatically goes down because certain traffic spike. But what you can do into this particular EC2 instances, suppose you get to know like there's a lots of traffics are coming. Suppose Diwali sales is going on, you have just put on some kind of sales. So there is suddenly traffic comes up, suddenly load comes up. Okay, so you are going to automatically scale up. I know like in this particular for the 2 hours, there will be lots of customer going to come, lots of customer going to use this particular my website. So can the automatically scales up once your everything customers goes down, the scales go like the sales goes down. Okay, sales over, so can automatically scales back. So this is the one kind of things why we need elastic cloud computing. So this flexibility saves your huge cost, like just like Uber sends more cabs during the peaks hour, like EC2 adds more powers when your load increases simply. This is nothing logic behind the scene. Suppose when your load are increasing, suppose 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 lakhs of people are coming. So we are just increasing the part. Suppose now in the midnight, like no customer, not much traffic are been there. So just directly decrease. So you are not going to charge about those particular instances which you added. Now, what all those components we have into the EC2 instances? Okay, so now let's quickly talk about the components part. So first of all, we have to choose the AMI. AMI is nothing but AMI. Okay, AMI is nothing but you have to choose about what OS you want or what pre-installed stack you want. You want Linux, you want Windows, you want Ubuntu, you want Red Hat. So all these particular things come to under the AMI part. Second, you have to choose the instance type. How much RAM, how much RAM CPU you generally want this particular instances. Then we have key pairs part. While launching, I will be just describing more to you. Okay, so these are the generally EC2 instances and these are the virtual servers. Now let's quickly jump to the practical part to get the more content and to get the more understandings for this particular EC2 demo. Just give me quickly 1 second. Yes. Okay. Now, this is our AWS account. We are going to launch our first EC2 instance, that is our first virtual server. So nothing. This will be a page. You have to just quickly log in. While after completing this page, you have to search here as a EC2. Okay, EC2 virtual servers in the cloud. If you want to learn, if you want to more explore, you can just prescribe to their official documentations what they generally do. So this is your landing page of your EC2 instances. Here you can check our instances like running virtual servers, virtual machines are nothing that are zero. Now we are quickly going to create a virtual instances, virtual machines. So let's click on the virtual instance. Now, as I what you want to give your virtual machines a name. Suppose I want to give a name as a uh, 30 days of cloud. Okay, 30 days of cloud. So I have given this particular name. Now coming back, as I showed to you, discussed to you, we have to check with the AMI image which we want. You want Windows, you want Red Hat, you want Ubuntu, you want Amazon Linux. So I'm just going with the Amazon Linux. Like I just need a Linux image. Then here you can check with the versions. Suppose if you are using the Ubuntu, okay. So here they also give the different versions you want 22 you want 24. So right now I'm just going with the Amazon Linux. It depends on you which machines you want to launch. Okay, I'm just more comfortable with the right now with the Amazon Linux part, so I'm just choosing. Okay, nothing simple. Then I just talk about the instance type, what actually the instance type you want, how much RAM CPU storage you want. So suppose for me right now, like 2 CPU 4 GB RAM, but for my our requirements part right now, I'm just using with the 1 CPUs and the 0.5 GB memory and nothing much. Okay, now what is the key pair login here? Why we need a key pair login here? The key pair login plays a vital role impact over here. Okay, this key pair login. What generally happens, suppose if you want to connect your EC2 instances with the outer part, okay, with your outer external part. So we have to use here key pair like we do SSH. We have public keys, private keys. This comes into the encryption part. So to connect our EC2 instances, we generally need a key pair. So for this, we have to create a key pair, which are generally simple pairs. So how to create a key pairs? Simple come up over here. Just create a new key pair. We want RSA. I want PAM file. You can create a PPK file. We have two kinds of availability. Like you can connect with the PuTTY also. You can connect with the Open SSH also. So if you have ever worked with the if you have ever worked with the tools like GitLab, okay, or I can say Git batch. Okay, so from Git batch, if you want to quickly access your EC2 instances, so we here the PAM file works. And if you want to connect with the PuTTY is nothing but like third-party tool to connect with your virtual machines or virtual servers. Okay, so let's quickly come connect you with your PAM file and create a pay pair, and let's quickly give me a name, AWS Cloud. Okay, let's quickly create a pair. Now move the networking part. You can attach your VPCs also. Okay, so I'm just going with the by default VPCs, nothing to be created, nothing. I don't want any security groups to be added. Allows traffic. How much storage you want to give? 8 GB default is 8 GB. So I'm also giving right now the 8 GB, or if you can increase up to 100 GB, 200 GB, depends on your requirements. Okay. Now everything here you can just check with the code. You are selecting your software image as AMI, virtual servers, T2 Nano, security groups, nothing, and volume as a launch. And once it takes just few seconds to launch your virtual machine. So let launch EC2 instances fail. Your account is, I don't know. I think I'm just facing some issue with the block sessions part. So this is a generally flow where your accounts, where your EC2 instances get generally created, and you can attach with your uh, virtual machines. Now let's quickly move to the moving forward for the learning forward dates. So I just showed what all the things we have: AMI, we have EC2 instances, we have uh, security group, we have firewall group. So all these things we generally have over here. Now moving forward, we have to learn about the availability zone, which are the important part into our Amazon like this AZ. Okay, what are AZs? AZ. This generally stands for availability zones. So availability zones are something like easy to run in availability zones. Like these are the physical separate data centers inside your region. Suppose in the Mumbai regions we have AP South 1, we have AP South 2. So like your instances, your EC2 instances will be available into the different regions part. So this matters a lot while you are just launching your instances. Okay, so this was all about the demos part, and we are going to into the next class we are going to connect it with the SSH part, and we are just creating some folders. We are going to create some doing the practicals on our EC2 instances. Okay, so guys, yes, in this video, that's about the wrap up of day two. And let's recap about what we have learned. We have talked about what is virtualizations, why VMs are better in the cloud part, what is EC2 instances, why we need elastics, EC2 instances type, AMIs, key pairs, and the security groups. Then we have something availability zones, and we have seen about the something about the hands-on how you can launch your EC2 instances. So in the day three, we are going to install Apache on the EC2 instance and host a basic web page using our public IP. So if you made it so far, comment below. I have launched my EC2 instances successfully. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We are getting started with the AWS Cloud. So already, thanks for watching this video. If you faces any queries, questions for launching any EC2 instances, just let me know. I will just try to fix this particular error and let you know into the upcoming class. Thanks for watching.